evening, everybody. Welcome to this live special Around the Ropes podcast episode. Normally, we're not live on Thursday nights, and earlier today, I wasn't planning on doing a show tonight. I just want to pull up one quick thing here. There we go. But yeah, after the news that broke earlier today, I kind of thought we needed to do something. Again, we are live in the Around the Ropes Facebook page, group page. Whoever it, obviously I can't only let me pull up the group page from Facebook and I can do it that way because it's not gonna it doesn't tell me on here who's commented if you're commented from the Around the Ropes group page. But hold on, there we go. Oh, Gloria, hey Gloria, what's going on? And Anthony, what's going on? So here's what we know as of now. There was a report that came out earlier today from the Wall Street Journal, which I'm actually going to pull up the article right now. Literally, I'm going through the article here, and what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to break down this article and kind of give my take on it because, and again, I have to emphasize that this is a very, I mean, if you watch our show last year, we spoke a lot about this whole Vince McMahon thing, and we thought it was done. But apparently after today, no more news came out. So earlier today, news came out, reported by the Wall Street Journal. I was going to make that mention. And here's basically what happened. Hold on, let me take this banner off because it's annoying. And guys, if you have any questions about what we're talking about, definitely leave them in the comments below. If you are commented from the Around the Ropes Facebook page, from the Around the Ropes group page, just make sure you mention your name because, like I said, on here it doesn't show the name. But what happened was there was a woman by the name of Jill Grant, and you've seen her picture all over social media after this bombshell dropped, who supposedly received a payout from WWE, from Vince McMahon, has now accused Vince of a lot of very heinous things, to say the least. And a lot of things that, I mean, I'm not going to get into full detail on it. You can read the extent, you can read what happened on your own because it is graphic. But according to this lawsuit, Janelle Grant, that's her name, is a former employee at WWE headquarters up in Bristol, Connecticut. And she, in a lawsuit filed today, she claims she was abused and sexually exploited by McMahon while he was the CEO. She also alleges that McMahon lured her with promises of career advancement, and then he allegedly exploited her and trafficked her to other men inside the company. Now, from what I'm understanding, and this is where it gets a little dicey here, they didn't mention every name of the other gentleman who supposedly she got sent to, but they did mention two names. Well, they mentioned one name and they described the name of the other person, and they made it too obvious of who it is, especially after a report came out a little while ago that supposedly all creative plans for this other person have stopped due to what happened today. And that would be John Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace, who was at the time head of talent relations, and all they said, and this is the part I find a little funny, in the chat, in the lawsuit, it says former UFC champion. Now we all know it's not Cain Velasquez because he wasn't there that long, but it was Brock Lesnar. Let's just call it what it is. Once they said former WWE/UFC champion, they made that so obvious who it was. According to this, I'm reading the article right here. Ryan, the invite's still there. If you'd like to hop on, I didn't know if you had anything to do tonight. Let me know if you'd like to hop on, Ryan. But yeah, it supposedly in 2022. All right, Ryan, I'm sending you the link. Give me a second here, folks. Do I have a link? That's the question. Oh, crap, I don't have the link. Crap. Hold on, Ryan, 1 second. Ryan, I'm going to send you the link momentarily here. Again, folks, just bear with me for 2 seconds here. Just again, folks, we're still live. I'm just trying to make sure that I get everything squared away here. Just give me 1 second here, folks. Again, guys, you can find us on all social media accounts. Definitely, definitely check us out. You're not going to want to miss anything we have coming up. We'll have our regular live programming coming up this coming Tuesday with all of your fallout from. Ryan, I just sent you the invite. Hey, Sarah, what's going on? But yeah, so I want to get back to this article because, good Lord Almighty, there's a lot. I just had the freaking article up here. Just give me a second here. Nope, wrong way. I literally had it up a second ago, and now it's not even there. But yeah, we're gonna go more into it. If I had the freaking article, where the hell did it go? Oh, there we go. So apparently, getting back into this article here, supposedly Grant signed an NDA, which obviously, if you're a wrestling fan, you kind of gotten used to NDAs already. Back in 2022, in which Vince McMahon agreed to pay her $3 million. And it for her not to discuss their relationship. And pretty much, not only could they couldn't discuss the relationship, but they couldn't discuss the part. And speaking about my co-host, hi Ryan, how you doing?
You got a lot of nerve, dude.
I'm sorry.
The fact that you didn't even bother even inviting your co-host.
I was
No. The fact that you didn't invite your co-host of this said podcast, the one that you always claim, that you always throw it in everyone's face, the one that I created. We all get it, dude. You created the podcast. But you have to realize that there is a co-host on said podcast. You have to realize that it's more than just one person running the show now. And your other part is someone who actually has a working brain, unlike other people that used to be a part of this network, and that's a shoot. And also, I don't look like an orange traffic cone.
No, and I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. Whatever. So what are we talking about now?
The whole Vince McMahon saga.
I saw the text messages. I'm sick to my stomach.
We were talking about this offline, and I know you had said, that you didn't think, that not that it was legit, but that it was real at first. And yeah, it's not looking good for Vince.
No, it's just the stuff that he was saying was like absolutely disgusting.
Well, here's where it gets interesting. She had to sign an NDA, which apparently we've gotten to know what that is very quickly.
Oh yeah.
And supposedly she did get she agreed to she signed the NDA in 2022, in which McMahon agreed to pay her $3 million.
Now here's the other thing about this whole thing, because I was scrolling through X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it now, and someone actually made a very interesting point. The fact that there was one particular message where she said, I'll be ready, You got to give me till next week. It kind of came off as like she knew what she was getting herself into.
Well, that's the one thing a lot of people have said about it is that, you know, after the 2 or 3, I mean, the fact that I haven't gotten to this part of the story yet, that supposedly one of the times where she had the threesome.
Oh my God.
Because apparently it happened more than once. Apparently Vince McMahon defecated on her head. So what I didn't understand with that was and I'm not, and folks, the one thing I do have to stress here, myself or Ryan, we're not condoning what Vince did.
No, absolutely not. In any situation, it's just,
but the only thing is, and yeah, I mean, Greek Savage points it out perfectly. He goes, allegedly. That's all. This is all that this has become, is allegedly. But when you read the entire lawsuit, there's layers to this story. Because, I mean, Ryan, we were talking about this earlier today. The fact that they mentioned former WWE/UFC champion. And then there was a report that just came out maybe an hour ago that all creative plans have stopped for Brock Lesnar.
Well, yeah, because there's no one else that went to UFC.
But the people who are, and again, we're not trying to take sides here, but why would they stop creative plans for Brock if this was all fabricated?
Savage actually kind of said it best. Unfortunately, there are lawyers because it's a sex scandal featuring a billionaire.
Yeah, unfortunately, and that's the issue. But
now, when you first mentioned the whole thing with Vince coming out, and I cannot believe I'm gonna say this, I thought it was because of the whole thing with the Epstein list.
Oh God, no!
I honestly thought that the way that they were going was that apparently he was on that island with Stephen Hawking.
And I mean, I don't want to go into what the text conversations were.
No,
because they were way too graphic.
Yeah,
and it was way too much
detail.
Supposedly, well, I mean, you remember this from last year when we were on the show, and it felt like every other week, okay, another woman's coming out.
Yep.
What this brings up an interesting thing now is, first of all, how toxic was the headquarters back then when all this shit was going down?
Someone else also said that someone else also said on X, again, not condoning anything, but someone said that it's also very, very coincidental that it's happening right before one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year, and also ironically a day or two after they announced that they had a massive $5 billion deal with Netflix.
Yeah, I mean,
very coincidental timing.
I mean, yeah, timing was not all the greatest, but I mean, the stuff here, because now this brings up another interesting thing. Last year when they did this investigation, and the claim was, oh, it's done by an independent third party that has no affiliation with the WWE. How did none of this come out till now? That's my question.
Because of the NDA.
God, billionaires must have a great time with these NDAs. But yeah, because according to this, it said, I'm just reading through this whole thing because I have the the official, the official article from Wall Street Journal. And I mean, he at one point, because the other part of this whole thing is he supposed to give her a lot of gifts to basically shut her up.
This whole thing is, it's granted, I again not condoning anything, but I feel like yes, there is it's a lawsuit, but I feel like there's some things that are missing.
How do you figure?
Like I feel like okay, maybe because I watch way too many crime dramas. I'm gonna be straightforward right now.
Okay.
With the way technology is, I'm again not condoning anything, but as I've seen some people say on X, maybe because they're losing their fucking minds. Some are saying that these texts were fabricated, that they were allegedly, created. Because also some people actually pointed out the verbiage in said messages.
Yes, that part. I have heard that. But in the actual lawsuit, because I was kind of bored today, so I kind of read most of the lawsuit. There's too many. I was explaining this to my parents beforehand. There's too many little details for that she mentions that would make me believe that this wasn't all fabricated, especially with the part where when one of the threesomes happened and she kept saying the word no, and supposedly Vince turned around and said no means yes. That's not something that I would really think could get fabricated. And again, folks, if you're ever in that situation, this is a topic I didn't think we'd ever get into on the show. Report it to somebody. And I'm trying to be the best way I can phrase this. The fact that she had to wait this long because obviously she had the NDA, which I understand. This really shows to you where men with money have power. Let me put it that way.
I can actually rephrase that. Men who have tons of money and power think they control the world.
Yeah, apparently, and it is not. It doesn't look, because now on the other hand, somebody said well, first of all, they were saying how Vince. So I saw a few people post it saying that Vince should get put on the electric chair.
On the electric chair, really?
Yeah, because again, here's the problem, and this is one thing I want to stress. We don't know we don't know how this is all going to end for Vince. This could end up being like everything else that Vince has gone through, and it'll get settled out in court. It'll get settled out, and everybody will forget about it in a couple of weeks. However, even if he's found not guilty in the court in the court of public opinion, he's done. There's no coming back from this.
No.
Especially, like I said, with how graphic some of these details were. I'm sorry. To me, you can't come back after basically one of the things I read. I'm going to try to keep this as PG as I can. Mention that blood got involved.
And now I got something I want to say.
Go right ahead.
And this may come off as controversial, but from something that you told me earlier of what some people in the IWC is comparing this shit to, you out of your fucking mind. And I'm going to say it right now. Members of the IWC are comparing this whole sexual allegation lawsuit, comparing that to the Chris Benoit family murder. You out of your goddamn minds if you're comparing something that tragic to this? Like, are you that fucking stupid, people? I don't care if this gets me chastised. I really fucking don't. But the fact that you're comparing someone who for years was going through concussion after concussion after concussion, and then does a double murder suicide on himself and his family. But yet you're comparing that massive bad scenario to a sexual allegation lawsuit. Two completely different fields. Yes, they're both terrible, but they are terrible they're terrible in completely different factors.
Let me ask you this question now.
The fact that you're saying that, you're comparing both of them as the same thing, you're out of your goddamn mind if you think that is legit. Go ahead, John.
Let me ask you this question. I know it's been brought up a lot that Vince should go into the Hall of Fame.
No.
Well, that was where my question was going to be. After what came out today, like I said, he could be found not guilty, and this whole thing could be washed away in a couple months. But the fact of what came out today, with the details that came out today, do you put him in the Hall of Fame? And I know it's Vince's call because it's his Hall of Fame, but do you put him in the Hall of Fame?
No, it's not his call anymore.
Well, it's Hunter's call now.
Mm-hmm. It's the son-in-law. But however, if it were based off what we saw here today, then no, absolutely not. But further on down the road, when they go to court and they find the defendant not guilty by some, and I'm just gonna throw out some scenarios like from some odd fucking comparing reason, they find out that this person was lying about the whole thing, and then this whole thing gets washed away in a couple months. Then maybe go into the Hall of Fame, maybe go into then again, maybe not actually, especially with the hush money shit.
Yeah, the three. That's the biggest thing I've noticed with Vince. It's easier just to give a person hush money.
But I want your opinion about what I just said about what some members of the IWC comparing this to the Benoit family murder.
Oh, I completely agree with you. I think it's idiotic. I mean, the fact that you're going to take what Benoit did, which, do you believe, by the way, it's been 17, I think it's 17 or 18 years since that happened?
17 years. June will be 17, which is, holy shit.
Yeah. I agree with you in that perspective that, they're both bad in their own ways.
Absolutely. There's no denying that.
But I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this now.
Just say it.
Both of them, I agree. Like I said, both of them were bad. Both of them were bad. Both of them, basically, you can almost say the guy wasn't thinking, I guess is the best way to put it.
Unfortunately,
One of them it was because of concussion. I get it.
It was because of CTE, unfortunately.
But no, but as in regards to Vince,
but also, and that's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at the fact that you said it earlier that apparently people want to treat Vince McMahon the Chris Benoit way, which is erasing him of history and everything. No. I'm going to be straightforward. That's not the case at all in this situation. Because what Benoit did was absolutely tragic, horrific, terrifying. And stuff like that deserves to have unfortunately, their name tarnished from history. But something like this, sexual allegations and whatnot, the whole, all this, come on. You have someone with 24-inch pythons. What you gonna do, brother? Who kept saying, the N-word numerous times, and he gets welcomed back with open arms.
yeah.
Not to mention his not so 24 python was shown on camera and was blasted everywhere. More like a 2.4 inch if you think about it. But then again, he gets welcomed back with open arms.
Yeah, I can see your point.
But like I said, but like I said, the fact that the IWC is telling everyone, saying, oh, we should, give, McMahon the Benoit treatment. No. Because also, we don't even, because also, again, not condoning anything, but in a regular court of law, not the public court of law, which apparently it's one-sided only, in a regular court of law, who's to say that this could all be, completely, it can be completely, allegate again, what it is, allegations.
That's why I said this whole thing. It's a very tough.
It's a tough situation. It's a tough scenario. And in some cases, a little bit, in some people's mindset, a little bit wishy-washy.
How do you figure?
No, just a little bit wishy-washy because, again, yes, text. There are text messages, but but I'm going to throw this out there for those that don't understand law. Granted, I don't understand law either, but I've seen a lot of Law and Order and shit, and unfortunately, you're going to need more evidence than that.
But
if there was actual photographic or video evidence instead of just text messages, then that's a whole completely different story. Or even receipts of the gifts.
No, I'm just trying to look to see if there's anything else that I can pull from this article.
And that's the other thing too, what they can do. They're saying that she bought these gifts and whatnot. People keep records, right?
Yeah, receipts.
Yeah, especially for tax purposes.
Yeah.
So they can go back. They can go back and look at the records and try to match the dates with when said item was, purchased and given to her. You see what I'm getting at here?
No, I see exactly, but there's more to this article that I just want to bring up, just because it's an interesting thing here. Grant's lawsuit alleged that she met Vince McMahon in March of 2019 after an introduction from a manager in her apartment building. McMahon lived in the penthouse of the same building, and Grant was looking for a job after her parents had died.
Yeah, because I think also she lost the family home because of the family's bankruptcy or something like that.
So right there it was, and I hate to put it like this, right there it was, he was preying on somebody who was vulnerable. Let's just call it what it is. She was in a vulnerable state at that point. But we got another comment coming in here. Fortunately, it's from the group page, so I don't know who said it. But they said the lady's going to get a high 6 or 7 figure payday, and we'll never know the truth.
Unfortunately, that person is right.
Very well so. Very well so.
And a few people on X are actually saying this. They think that this is just a ploy because she ran out of hush money, and it's an easy way for her to get more money without doing any hard work. Which I think is, first of all, who really thinks like that? That's really fucked up.
Yeah, but in the situation that we're in, and again, I have to continuously stress this. We're not taking sides here.
No, absolutely not.
We're just presenting what myself and Ryan are doing right now. We're just presenting the facts that we have, and also
basically we're giving. Sorry to cut you off. We're basically giving our opinions and observations based off what has been presented to us in the public eye.
Yes, but also here's the other thing. Also, and this is one thing I learned with my years of going for communication. I also wanted to get from the proper source, because everybody and their mothers are reporting about something about this on Twitter. But, they're going to be one person who have no profile picture and have 3 followers.
Exactly.
But I'm going to say this. I'd rather take somebody who, I don't know, writes for the Wall Street Journal, one of the biggest papers in the New York area.
I wouldn't say just in the New York area. I think more like one of the biggest business.
Which is actually funny because Wall Street Journal seems to be the only newspaper that breaks any news regarding WWE, especially with Vince.
Because it involves business, and also also WWE is a publicly traded company, so anything publicly traded gets put through the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right on that. The article goes on to say that when they met, McMahon allegedly made promises of a job at WWE and showered Grant with gifts. During meetings, they were supposed to be about the job. He greeted her in his underwear and repeatedly asked her for hugs. And then the suit said he pressured her into sexual activities in return for employment.
Here's the other thing also. Did they say this happened at headquarters and whatnot?
No, supposedly from what I'm reading here, no, it doesn't say. It just says that they had meetings that were supposed to be about the job, but they don't specify if it was if they're not saying if it was in the apartment or if it was in Connecticut. My assumption, well, again, in a situation like this, I don't want to take an assumption. I don't want to put out something and be like, oh no, I misspoke here. So to answer your question, I'm not sure from what I'm reading here.
No, because what I'm getting at is, a lot of people have security cameras.
Yeah, and I think in the coming weeks, they're going to have investigators look at those cameras.
Look at those. Look at the records.
But here's an interesting thing, though. He pressured her into sexual activities and in return for employment, and warned her to stay quiet about their interactions.
But again, they can get us. If a federal judge can get a subpoena, if they can get a subpoena to obtain all the records, including those NDAs that she signed, then
I'm listening. I'm just trying to read some more.
No. That's fine. I'm just saying, I mean, if this actually goes to a federal level, which I have a feeling it might, possibly, they can get a subpoena and they can get a subpoena to get the all the records, all the bank records from those years, and they follow the path from what she was saying in her lawsuit. Saying like in 2021 they received the gift, it was such and such. They can look through all the financial records. Granted, it might take a little bit longer. Depends on how many people are actually looking at those records. Then they can compare, really zigzag, okay, so that is for that. So that actually, the timing of it works perfectly. And then also with the all the documents when it comes to the NDAs, everything is on file.
Yeah.
So they can literally go through all the files.
Article goes on to say Grant began working in June of 2019 as an administrator coordinator, a position McMahon created for her in WWE's legal department. But here's where it gets interesting. She said she expressed concerns that the job felt unearned, but McMahon told her that all she needed to do was not tell anyone and that it was to look legit.
So that right there even shows that even the legal department in WWE is a bunch of morons.
Colleagues complained about overflowing inboxes, but Grant had little work.
Never mind.
Article goes on to say, meanwhile, McMahon allegedly sent her sexually explicit messages and his sexual demands increased.
Here's my other question. And I'm going back to that one text message where she said, oh yeah, I'll be ready by next week. Why did she continue it? Why did she continue this? She could have easily stopped right there.
I think what it was, and this is from my years of watching all the SVUs and all that stuff. I think when you're in that position, you have tunnel vision. And I think the way the article's coming off, and from what I've read, because of everything she had been through, with her parents both dying.
Well, I'm just asking the question that when the trial does come, what the defense, what the plaintiffs, I don't remember which one is which. The defense is the one that's getting sued, or is that the plaintiff?
Plaintiff is the one who's getting sued.
Thank you.
Oh no, no, other way around. Flip it around. I'm sorry.
Okay, so the defense. Okay, the defense's attorney, McMahon's attorney, would ask her the same question. So that's why I'm asking you the public opinion now. When they're saying, Miss, I don't remember her name, I don't care. In said text message, you said, okay, maybe I will keep going next week. If you felt you were in a situation, why didn't you stop then? And if they give that answer, if she gives that answer, depending on who the judge and the jury are, they may see that in a different direction. Again, not condoning anything that Vince McMahon did. I gotta stress that very, very much. But I'm just going based off, years of watching, like Law and Order, SVU, all that stuff. I'm just going by what, from my experience of, watching and how sometimes they can act in a real life situation.
Here's where things get interesting. And this I'm going to try to put as G-rated as I can. Actually, I can't really because it's in the article, so it's everybody has seen it.
And I quote. Actually, no. Before you say that, for a disclaimer for the younger viewers out there, the words you're about to hear does not condone the expressions of both myself and John Blaine or the Around the Rose podcast name as a brand. This was presented by the Wall Street Journal article. Proceed.
Thank you. Hold on. Thank you, legal side. What is that? You could be your new department now? Legal department?
Go on.
Okay. He forcibly used sex toys on her, including dildos in which he named after WWE wrestlers, causing her bruising and bleeding. The suit said Grant alleged that she complained to McMahon and made attempts to end the relationship.
Oh, God.
Right there and then, when I read that earlier, my stomach started to churn.
Kind of like how mine is right now.
And I said this to somebody at work today. Reading this whole thing, because like I said, I read this entire freaking thing today, and I was disgusted by everything I was reading. Here's the other part, and this is what we were alluding to earlier. In March of 2020, McMahon began sharing sexually explicit photographs and videos of Grant with other men.
I think I saw at one point also he was talking with like 12 members of a production crew or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically telling them and showing them the photos and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Including other WWE executives and a former UFC heavyweight champion with whom WWE was actively trying to sign to a new contract.
Yeah, that was,
Brock.
Yeah, I know.
And then we mentioned before about the defecating on her head during one of the threesomes.
That's the one thing that really boggles my mind.
Well, not only with her.
I mean, granted, everything else is boggling, but just that one alone.
Yeah.
Very like questioning, like how?
Her mental health and physical health deteriorated so badly that McMahon sent her in November to a celebrity doctor for sessions at an alternative clinic where she never received any receipts or bills. McMahon also paid $20,000 to a surgeon on her behalf.
A surgeon?
Yeah.
And here's the other thing you mentioned. Celebrity Doctor, where she doesn't receive any of the bills, but someone's got to receive those bills.
Yeah, it was probably McMahon's. They probably said, "Oh, sent it to here." Like, granted, yes, okay.
And here's the other thing also. When the if she says the name of that celebrity doctor, the federal prosecutors can definitely raid their office too.
Oh, that's coming soon. I can almost guarantee it. Let me see here. McMahon also recruited people to have sex with her as well, including WWE former head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis. Who is named, by the way, as a defendant in the
I remember seeing that.
the lawsuit. That supposedly McMahon directed her to visit Laurinaitis at his hotel rooms where she would have sex with him prior to the start of work days. The suit alleged, I left that hotel feeling bad about myself every time, Grant told McMahon.
See that right there. If they were smart enough, they can go back and look at the hotel footage.
But that's where the whole sex trafficking comes into play.
Yeah.
And that's not something you want to. And then I just want to see if there's anything else here in regards. That in May of 2021, McMahon allegedly told Grant that her presence in the legal department was holding up the hiring of a new general counsel for the company, and thus transferred her to the talent relations department, reporting to the aforementioned John Laurinaitis. McMahon and Laurinaitis started her at a lower level position, but promised that she would be soon promoted to vice president. Mind you, folks, I wish we were making all this shit up. Okay, here's an interesting part. McMahon controlled her professional and personal lives and subjected her to degradation, according to the suit. In June of 21 encounter inside the WWE office, the suit said McMahon. Oh boy, okay. Ryan, can you do the disclaimer one more time?
Sure. Folks, for the viewers out there who are underage or may get triggered, the following content does not condone the expressions or the mindsets of myself, Ryan Peterson, as well as Jonathan Blaine, and the Around the Ropes podcast name as a brand, due to its explicit sexual content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Thank you, attorney.
Proceed.
In June of 2021, encountered inside the WWE office, the suit said McMahon and Laurinaitis forced themselves onto her and took turns restraining her for the other, while saying no means yes. And also supposedly it was take that. That, remember I was saying before about certain things were very specific that I don't think she would have fabricate.
Yeah.
How can you fabricate that?
You can't.
And just want to see if there's anything else here. Oh wait, hold on, because now here's a part that I didn't even get a chance.
Do I need to say it one more time?
No.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. The suit said that McMahon shared explicit photos with Brock Lesnar and informed Grant that he likes what he sees. After the star agreed to a new WWE contract, McMahon told Grant in August of 21 that part of the deal was Lesnar and her having intercourse.
I think I did see that part, and apparently he couldn't make it due to a storm or something like that.
Yeah. In that December, McMahon gave Grant's personal cell phone number to the WWE superstar. Yeah, you had mentioned about that's actually the wrestler. Supposedly, Lesnar asked her to send a photo of herself urinating. Like I said, folks, this entire show, the last what have we been on? The last
45 minutes.
This has probably been right. I think you can say this. This has probably been one of the most difficult episodes that you and I have ever done.
I would say not only difficult, but also disturbing, even borderline disgusting and horrendous. So now here is my question. What's going to happen on Saturday?
Well, just want to make a mention. The last
was there anything else on the article that you want to talk about? Because quite honestly, I'm getting sick to my stomach right now.
I'm not even. I'm done with the article. We kind of dissected the biggest part. The last part of it was that when Linda McMahon discovered the relationship. So now here's my first question to you.
Mm-hmm.
If WWE is smart here, do they have the press conference after the Rumble on Saturday?
That's kind of where I was leading with my question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said what's going to lead into a Saturday? Because first of all, we are hearing rumors that, one of the people that was mentioned in said lawsuit might be appearing.
You're talking about Brock?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I don't know if that's going to happen now because, like I said, I read a few tweets that creative plans have stopped for him for right now.
Then again, it's Florida, so they probably condone. They probably, cheer for it. Sorry, was that a shoot at Florida? Do I care? No.
We do got a comment coming here from Michael Cantana. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Canada, sorry.
Who is he?
Somebody who's watching the show.
Oh, okay. Hi, Mike. I thought it was somebody, but also, as they do for every premium live event, they always do the post show scrum.
Mm-hmm.
Now with this, I don't know what's gonna happen.
If they're smart, I would suggest not to do it.
But here's the other thing also. Sometimes they feed off of the media scrum. That's the other issue.
But here's my thing. You do the media scrum. You know damn well nobody's going to ask questions about the he has a wrestling podcast. I remember he had commented on a show a while ago.
Oh, nice.
You do the media scrum on Saturday, you're opening yourself up for a can of worms.
That's exactly.
Because the problem is, damn well, a lot of the guys who, we don't know them personally, but the guys who are going to be down there. It's going to be your Sean Ross Saps, what's his face? Steve Fall, the guy from up in Boston. CVV will probably be there.
Which by the way, I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet, but I may listen to it tomorrow at work. His interview with One Velveteen Dream.
Oh yeah, I heard it was very good.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I definitely got to hear that.
Apparently, his podcast is called The Top Rope Report.
Oh, okay, nice.
I think I've heard of that actually.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, I was saying it sounds very familiar. But
yeah, Chris Van Vliet with his interview with Velveteen Dream. I am so curious as to what to hear about that one.
But no, but as far as with this,
especially not to go off topic for a hot second, especially with the interview being no holds barred, anything goes.
but those are the good interviews. How many times have we done interviews on here? And like we'll always ask beforehand.
I think from what I heard, and I think from what I heard also in the little snippet, he talks about what happened.
Well, yes, I did hear that same snippet as well. But just to pull the curtain back here for a second, whenever we get a guest on the show, one of the first things I ask them, and I've been doing this, and this is the same question I've asked since day one of the show. Is there anything off the table?
And 99% of the time, they say no.
Those are the interviews I like, because then it means that they are willing to, that they're willing to answer anything. But no, but in regards to this, like I said, I would cancel. To be honest, I would cancel the media scrum until this whole thing gets settled. Because you know damn well, even if let's say they cancel it in Tampa, this ain't going away by the time we get to the chamber, the end of February.
That one they may not cancel because it's in Australia.
Or maybe what you do for that one is I don't want to say you want to put a straight, because you don't want to tell somebody, especially somebody who's a journalist, you can't ask certain questions. Because then
especially in Australia, where unlike here in the US, they aren't PC.
No,
they don't.
And that's the thing though. You can go one of two ways. You can do the media scrum at the chamber, take the risk, and hope that nobody asks a question by that point, and hope to God by the time we get to Elimination Chamber on February 25th that this is all done. But you and I both know this isn't going to be done.
24th.
24th. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
It's that Saturday at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we're doing a watch along. I forgot to tell you.
No, we're not. Shut up.
No, the watch along is going to be you sleeping.
Oh yeah, it's for my OnlyFans.
But you and I both know this isn't going to go away by the time we get to Chamber.
Nope.
Honestly, this isn't going to go away by the time we get to Mania in Philly.
If more stuff comes out, oof.
So that's why.
Then might as well call WrestleMania Scandal Mania.
Michael will definitely. One of us will definitely be in contact with you about being a guest. But you got this is why I'm saying WWE has to play this right.
And I think TKO are.
Which I like. First of all, somebody asked TKO about what you're going to do about Vince, and they said right now we're not doing anything. We're doing an internal investigation because the point.
They said despite not happening under their reign, or they're under their when they were in there, they're still going to do an internal investigation.
They have to, because it's still their company. I mean, I want to see something now, because this is where I think you're going to see the real big picture here. Hold on. I want to see what the TKO stock looked like after the news today.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
Oh, their stock took a nosedive.
How much?
Dropped. It closed at 87.51.
What were they opening bell?
Opening bell, they opened up at 88.47.
Oh, so it was already low already.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. When the news dropped, I'm just seeing right here. Because if you go to Google, you type in, you type in TKO stock, you can get the entire line.
Mm-hmm.
And right when the news dropped, which is about 12 o'clock or so, figure, like 11:30, 12 o'clock, somewhere in that ballpark, it dropped to the lowest of the day. But here's the weird part. After hours, which I don't understand how that works. The whole after hours thing.
I don't know.
that apparently after hours it went back up to 88.51.
I don't know.
So what I'm curious to see is is TKO's going to have to do something. I think the only way they can do something, I'm just looking right here, the lowest they were at today, which was around 12:45, it looks like, no, 12:50, was 87.02. If all of a sudden more news comes out, but I also don't think it's going to affect TKO stock for one reason. This wasn't under the TKO banner.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to, they're going to see stock drop that much. But TKO on the flip side doesn't want to have to deal with this in its early days of its existence.
Yeah.
And honestly, and right now, I'm going to say this right now, I would remove Vince. I really would.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't remove him like when they signed the deal in the first place.
Supposedly, from what I heard about that, the reason for that was they wanted to keep him on for the transition.
Well, I think they're transitioning enough right now.
And I think after what broke today,
because TKO has been technically TKO for what, 8 months now.
Yeah, they started when they merged. Well, no, weren't they around beforehand though? Because weren't they original UFC?
Yeah, no, they were around UFC. When TKO took over WWE, I think it was right after Mania.
Let me take a look. Hold on.
I know it was like right around April of last year. And if that's the case, then hello, if you haven't transitioned in the 7 to 8 months, then you really have no idea how to run your company.
Okay, just want to make one other mention here because this is actually just messaged to me privately. We're not giving anybody any stock advice.
Who said that?
I got a message from that from KJ.
Okay, yeah,
No, because apparently we could get in trouble by the SEC.
Shit. Well, actually, no. You were the one that was saying the stuff about the stock, so that's on you.
But that's what I'm saying, folks. We're not anything that we're talking about tonight. We're not giving you advice.
Do I need to do it again?
Yes, please.
Okay. for legal reasons. The actions and expressions here on this special live edition of the Round Rose podcast does not affect the mindsets of both myself, Ryan Peterson, and John Blaine, including anything involving the stock market, anything financial related, or anything or any other, or us condoning said actions. I tried the best that I can to word everything in there. So again, folks, we do not condone anything in regards to sexual misconduct or financial situations.
Yes. Thank you, KJ, for that reminder. I totally slipped my mind on that.
That's why I didn't say a single thing about it.
But when you look at, this whole situation, folks, we'll know more about the situation in the days to come. We'll probably have more about it on our regular show coming up on Tuesday. Because I don't think this is done.
No, I think it's only the beginning.
And I think the more that comes out about this, we're going to see. I mean, do I think we're going to see Vincent, end up facing some sort of penalty from this? I don't know. I legit don't know. Because we don't know how this is going to go. We really don't know how this is going to go. We said it before. This can go many different ways. But now is where I'm curious. Now it's not so much the waiting game right now. Now it's more of the
what's the next domino to fall.
Yeah. But this also leads to another thing. Don't you find also very ironic that all of a sudden, Vince comes back, Stephanie resigns, and this news drops?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they knew about this coming out and they wanted to jump ship before they knew the ship hit the Titanic. The iceberg, sorry.
Possibly.
I'm just wondering.
Possibly.
But all I'm going to say is this. Folks, this is anything that we talked about was just us giving our opinions on it. You can take it as is. The fact that we had to even talk about this tonight, or even the fact that this even came out, was sickening to me. And Ryan, I think you can agree that it was kind of sickening when you read everything.
More disturbed.
Oh, here's an interesting thing I did not know about.
What?
Good friend of the show right now points out, he goes, I believe the parent company oh, that's what it was. Okay.
It was Endeavor. Yes. It was Endeavor merging with WWE, and they formed TKO.
Thank you for that, Ryan. But when you look at this whole thing, it's completely disgusting. And what's funny is, not funny because there's nothing funny about this. I first heard about this in the group chat I'm in for the Asylum Wrestling League. And I remember I was at work and I'm like, not again. I was like, I thought we were done with this shit after last year. Because, Ryan, how long was it last year that I felt like we were talking about this every single week?
Yes.
It was quite a bit, right?
Very. It was lengthy. I'll tell you that.
I thought this shit was done.
We all did, but then this shit came out.
And it's not. This was not a topic I can say that myself or Ryan or any wrestling podcast or YouTube show that you watch wants to talk about. Because I have a feeling there's going to be other YouTube shows and other podcasts that are going to follow suit by talking about this.
Oh, yes.
Because this is a topic that's disturbing, that's sickening, and honestly shouldn't be tolerated. I don't care if you're Joe Schmo or if you're Vincent Kennedy McMahon. When stuff like this comes out, it shouldn't be, oh, we'll give her more money and it'll go away. Because all you're just doing is you're putting a Band-Aid on the situation. And you and I both know, you put a Band-Aid on something, eventually that Band-Aid's going to come off.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, they got to do something. If it means TKO finally removing Vince from board of directors, which honestly, I don't know what's taking them so long at this point.
I think after this, I think they will.
At this point, they had no option. Because then if they don't, and I'm saying this right now, if they don't pull the trigger, then they're going to start getting looked at bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like, okay, well, why are you condoning what Vince is doing? Even though the lawsuit was pre-TKO days,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're the one running the TKO is the one that's running the day-to-day operations. Or at least overseeing, let me put it that way. So if I'm TKO, I'm getting the paperwork put together now to get him out of the board of directors. Hell, if you have to put somebody else, another wrestler from the 90s, because obviously, as we learned on Tuesday, The Rock is now one of the board of directors, go right ahead. Or just get rid of the position altogether. Not the position, but you get my point.
Mm-hmm.
But they got to do something.
Yeah, they have to.
Somebody else comment down here. Well, first of all, got to shout out to our guy Dave. Dave, how you doing?
Hey, Dave.
Interesting. I didn't think about it this way. The timing of it. Makes things a little interesting.
So what? Do they do this move with The Rock to use it as a scapegoat, a barrier?
I don't know.
Or is that their way of getting the ball rolling?
It could be getting the ball rolling, or it could also be they knew the shit was about to hit the fan, so they figured, okay, let's try to play damage control early, weather the storm. Let's play damage control early, appoint The Rock to the board of directors, and then we can use that to kind of piggyback off of.
Mm-hmm.
Barnell chimes in here on YouTube and says, I'm assuming they knew about the misconduct from last year to make concessions for what was out there, but I can't even read it right now. I'm going blind.
I'll finish it.
Okay.
But I think that finding a whole new case would lead them to push Vince out.
That's all we're trying to say is at this point, if Vince survives this, then something bigger is going on. Because if this was, let's say this was the average Joe Schmo, obviously it wouldn't make big news, but I'm just putting in this perspective.
If an average Joe Schmo was put in the same situation as Vince McMahon, that Joe Schmo would have been done immediately.
I'll go a step further. Let's say Ryan, let's say if it was one of us. We'd be done, roasted, and toasted in 30 seconds.
Done, roasted, toasted, and thrown on the side of the highway. Yes, I'm getting that graphic.
No, you're not wrong. Oh, I'm trying to see.
Wow, they're blowing up fast.
Huh?
The fuck? No, the next one. Don't show that one.
Oh, I'm not, because you know what I'm going to do?
Delete.
I love how they give me the option to put this user in timeout.
That's funny. But you want to push Vince back in. What the hell is wrong with you, Dave?
Yeah, David, I'm confused. Just explain.
Maybe he's a little confuzzled, since he's a Phillies fan and all.
Well, we know he's an Eagles fan too, But Dave, I'm curious to know why you want to push Vince back in.
Unless he meant push Vince out.
I think he was laughing at the comment. That wasn't a ha-ha at us.
No, I know. I'm thinking the same thing.
You know what's funny? That's the first time that's happened.
First time for everything.
But Dave, I'm not putting you on the spot here right now, but you made an interesting point, and I want you to just explain a little bit more.
Just curious. Out of curiosity.
Ryan, this is why I'm hoping in 2024 I can somehow get not a phone system, but somehow get a thing where people can call in.
Oh God, that would be even worse.
No, because because Ryan, the one thing with this show, I like to have the two-way conversation. And when somebody makes a comment, if they make a comment like that, I want to. Okay, here we go. Oh, he didn't know what's going. He hasn't watched wrestling in a year.
Well, a lot of shit.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened, Dave. Tune into the Round Ropes podcast on Tuesday night. We can get you.
We'll get you caught up.
Yeah. But no, I just think, like I said, TKO has to pull the trigger at this point. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Honestly, I would do it right after Royal Rumble. Let them get the Rumble out of the way and be done with it.
Dave, that's an interesting thing. Tony Khan is behind all of this. All right, I gotta see who made that comment.
Oh God, I can't. Some of you people in the IWC, you think you know it all, but guess what? Shocking. Here's a spoiler for you. You don't.
Oh,
because
I know exactly who it was.
who was it?
The guy Eric Matthews, who's one of the guys from the Asylum group. Hi, Eric.
Oh, of course he is.
Yeah, it's one of the Asylum guys.
But yeah, like I said, you people in the IWC, you think you know it all, but guess what? You don't. And also, some of you journalists think you know it all. Case in point, the whole shit. Not to change the subject, but since we're talking wrestling, apparently the whole shit with the WrestleMania spoilers that was released by Sports Illustrated turns out to be false.
Or you want to talk about reporters? There's the greatest reporter of all time, Brad Shepard.
Yeah, but I was talking about the whole thing with the
I know exactly.
Because apparently, and considering what happened with Sports Illustrated this past week, oh,
simple. Well, we can get on that on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's fine.
But in regards to this, I think it's simple enough to put it this way. Yeah, Eric's right. You can't trust SI right now.
And also, whoever said that, hi.
That's Eric.
Oh, that's Eric? Okay. Hi, Eric. But yeah. Honestly, Sports Illustrated has not been relevant in years.
From what I read, supposedly any article they have now are done by AI.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they cut like 70% of their freaking company.
But I do want to give a quick shout out to the Asylum Wrestling League. It's a great group of guys and gal. I have to mention that. With guys like Archie, Eric, Shiv, Nathan, go down the list. There's other people in there, but it's a great group of guys and gal.
Yes, because in the Asylum Wrestling group, they'll let anybody in.
Hey. I'm a genius. I'm smart. I'm smart.
I'm going to be serious on this podcast, so I'm not going to say what I'm going to say.
Wait for that till the after podcast part.
Yes, the after podcast media scrum, which will happen on the 12th of Never. Located on our MySpace page, which is non-existent anymore.
Actually, I'm curious. I think MySpace is still around.
No, God, I hope not.
Now you got me curious.
Can I do that off camera?
Yeah, sure.
But again, I think we should wrap this up, honestly, because we've been talking about this for the last hour and 15 minutes, and literally getting sick to my stomach just thinking about like what was released to the public today. So I'm gonna take the initiative and end in this shit, since apparently I never got the invite for this in the first place, so I'm taking over. I see a comment down there.
MySpace is around.
And no devs? What the hell does that mean?
Right now, what do you mean by no devs?
Come on right now.
Jiminy Cricket.
It's called a keyboard. You type it up, just like mostly everybody nowadays, are supposed keyboard warriors. You can become one right now too. Oh, look at that. I think we got it. No developers working for MySpace anymore. Thank you, Ronell.
Thank you, Ronell. The more you know.
Hold on, I got it.
Oh, he's driving right now.
Well, I'm sorry that you're feckin' driving. I kid, Ronell. I kid. But yes, as you know, supposedly, like I said, I didn't get the invite or even know this was happening in the first place. As the co-host of this podcast, where some people forget that they actually have a co-host, I'm taking over to end this once and for all. I think it's safe to say we don't know what the hell we're getting ourselves into with good old Vinnie Mac and this shit now. I guess it's safe to say, hey, this sounds so fucked up. Sit back and enjoy the ride, because oh boy, there's gonna be a lot of twists and turns on this one.
Couldn't have said it better.
This is their version of Space Mountain.
Guys.
Not like that.
I know that's not what you meant. But again, guys, like I said, I appreciate everybody who watched tonight. Everybody who commented on it tonight, and all that stuff. Thank you to Ronell, to Dave, yes, Ronell said it perfectly. Bring a vomit bag with you.
Only one? You're going to need about 5.
That's per day.
Oh, per day? Oh, then yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, wow. We got comments coming in now.
No, I'm not. No.
All right, I'm not reading that last one.
Nope.
Thank you, Rolly. I appreciate that, man.
I don't know who you are, but thank you.
That guy from work.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Mike.
What? What?
Apparently, Dave only comes here for you.
That sounds so wrong.
Thank you, Mike. I'll see you tomorrow at the warehouse, buddy.
But thank you, Dave, I guess.
Mike, wow. Brian, he that comment was for you.
Oh, what's going on, Raleigh? It's a valid question. Yeah, we understand it's a valid question, but we ain't gonna answer that because that's a little bit too graphic, my friend. And I don't care if you chastise us or not, saying, oh, answer the question. No, we are not answering that question. You want to ask that question? Go to some other podcaster or other journalist, and they'll gladly answer for you, because unlike them, we have class. Just saying.
Hey, wait, what?
Oh, when you said that Dave only comes from me.
Because that's what it said here. Hold on.
No, I saw it.
Yeah, right. I'm going to just say this right now. They can go to some main event and they'll answer it.
Yeah.
But on that note, guys, I hope you guys, I'm not going to say enjoy this because this was a tough topic to talk about.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I'm taking over, John. Just sit in the corner there, buddy.
Well, I was actually going to pull up the minor banner here for a second.
Yes, folks, you can follow us on all of our social media accounts on Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as the new ATR network on our YouTube channel, on the YouTube. Sorry, I'm brain's fucking fried right now. Hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing, but it does wonders for us. And every Tuesday night, you can catch us right here live with our weekly episodic show, the Around the Worlds podcast, where this coming week we'll be talking about the recap of the Royal Rumble on Saturday. And if anything else comes up, and if anything else comes out of this, we will talk a little bit more about the Vinnie Mac Space Mountain roller coaster. And also previewing Ace Pro Wrestling, which will be coming back next Saturday night in Teaneck, New Jersey with Heroes Celebration.
And we also might have another guest coming on. We Are Wrestling.
Oh, yes, Pete Rosario.
Shout out to Papa Dank.
Yeah, shout out to Papa Dank, and keep that belt nice and shiny for me when I see you on the 17th. But again, folks, I think it's safe to say, as the legal department here on the Around the Rose podcast, for myself and Jonathan Blaine, thank you so much for tuning in for this live special. And we'll see you all this Tuesday on the Around the Rose podcast.